Good morning, everybody. Today is sort of I don't want to call it special video, but a unique video for sure. It's going to be a feature video. And what I am featuring is a lot of 7 inches. This may be a long video. That is all old school, local Florida punk. And by local, I mean throughout the entire state, not just local to my area, although many of these are from the South Florida area. And they're all from the 90s, except for one I think is from 89. It's the earliest one I got. And Florida has, I guess you call it, a rich musical history of punk going through the 70s, 80s, 90s, even today, of punk, hardcore, the various incarnations of it within punk pop, shit like that. And recently, for whatever reason, I've kind of been getting into punk, which is bizarre because it's always been a genre of music that I kind of liked it, but at the same time, I kind of ignored it for some reason. I don't know why. I just have. And a few months ago, I got this itch, and I was like, man, there's a lot of cool bands when I was doing research. And I just felt it was important to have a little bit of, shall we call it, local heritage in my collection. So without any further ado, let's dive into these. I hope this is something you guys like. If you don't like punk, stop watching this video. If you do, maybe learn something. Oh, and I should add, while this is in no way a complete collection of everything that there is out there, there's still plenty I need to get. These are kind of the ones I was able to get cheaply. And I want to say the average, including shipping for these, was between, $5 to $8. A few of them I think I had to pay $10, $11 for. Some of them were like $3, even with shipping. It was really cheap. So these are the ones I was able to get cheaply. So cheap heat. Let's get into it. The first we got is Plumb from Northern Florida. This is, as you might notice, small. It is my one and only 6-inch. This is a band from Gainesville from 1997. It features members that later formed the band I Hate Myself, which was like an emo band that I don't like them. But this is excellent. Look at that tiny little record. It is great. And there's information in the dead wax. There's something written. It's an empty 40 and Aaron's on fire. Whatever the hell that means. Musically, this is very sloppy, very hard-hitting, high energy. I'm gonna call it hardcore because of the way that they're playing, but there is a little bit of emo-ness in there, especially in the singing and the lyrics. But I mean, overall, this is great. Youthful, high energy, fun. You put it on and you're bopping around. The tracks blow by. They're, sometimes 30 seconds to a minute. I think the largest track is maybe 2 minutes. But features 5 tracks. I Am As Pathetic As I Think I Am. Pung's State of the Youth Address. Good play on words there. Don't Step to the Pung, Eating Leftovers Alone, and The Specialist. Number 1 off the bat. Number 2, Stun Guns. I can't believe it's not murder. This is a band from the Miami region. This is from 1995. Off of a label which I will be talking about a bit more because I have some other stuff on. Star Crunch Records, also from Miami. This is some good old-fashioned pop punk. It's the best way to put it. Features members from other bands that are in here. Buda Sanchez on guitar, and Andrew Powell, also known as Hurricane Andrew Powell. If you're from Florida, you understand the reference of Hurricane Andrew. No insert or anything, but it does have a nice printed sleeve. Actually, I think there was an insert. I lost it. Uh-oh. Ah, yes, a small insert from the label. Other things they have available, some of which are still on the list for me to get. Brethren, No Regrets. This is a band from Hialeah from 1996. This one is not an EP like most of the others. It's just a single, 2 tracks on it. Convictions and Unwilling. This is, it's hardcore, kind of like a metalcore sound. But at the same time, lyrically, I mean, when you listen to it, you realize it's Christian hardcore. Which to me was always a funny thing, Christian hardcore, whatever. But you got 2 tracks that are both over 4 minutes long. And they, what's the word I'm looking for? I mean, it's almost sludgy and doomy. It's not this thing going on. It's not thrashy. It's slower. It's sludgier. It's a bit doomy. It's more metal, which is why I'm calling it metalcore, kind of hardcore thing. But then with like screaming out there, bursting vocals. And they printed the lyrics on a nice printed sleeve. And when you listen to them, you realize, oh, holy crap, look what they're talking about. There's the labels. That it is a Christian hardcore band. But I can live with that because it is so delicious and so heavy, I can overlook its flaws. Roosevelt, self-titled. This is a band, I don't exactly know where they're from. This is from 1996. I don't know the area it's from. There's nothing in here that says where the city they're coming from. But it was recorded at Studio 13 in Deerfield Beach, which no longer exists, but it was a studio where a lot of hardcore, and punk albums were recorded in the 90s going into the 2000s. In Florida, in this region anyways. And it's off of a label, nice printed lyric sleeve. It was in a label, Boxcar Records, which is from Melbourne or Stewart, up north a bit. And it is on lovely colored vinyl. So I should point that out as well. Little splatter going on. Musically, this is, I mean, I guess you'd call it hardcore. It's a bit more involved than that, though. It has a bit of emo leanings, especially within the lyrics. Or I shouldn't say the lyrics, but the singing style. And it has 2 guitarists. And the way that they play, like one will be playing, shall we call it the rhythm, and the other's playing like a single note, sort of strumming and picking, and then like string bends going on and everything. It gives it a really cool, to me anyways, alternative sound that really kind of sticks out from some of the others. So, I mean, it's hardcore, but it's also a bit more, smooth, shall we say. 3 tracks on this: Spine, Parade, and Ugly Truth. And I should say this has the very annoying trait of having 33 speed on one side and 45 speed on the other, which annoys the crap out of me. But hey, whatever, it is what it is. This one is great. Tension, the sickness of our age. This is from 1994, bands from Coral Springs, Florida, which is just south of me. So right on my back door. This is another one that was recorded in Studio 13. And I'm going to call it, like straight edge. It's hardcore and it's straight edge. But it goes a bit beyond that. It's almost nu metal in its sound. It really is. Just the way that the guitars have a very, heavy metal tone going on to it, and the drums are a bit more melodic. They're not thrashy. And then the way the singer, it's almost a rapish thing, like he's doing like a sing-song thing. And then, the background singers, or I guess, are the drummer, the guitarist, or the bassist, whoever, they'll sort of almost like say something after him or respond to him, which, again, just kind of gives it a new metalish sound to me. Some people may listen to it and think I'm crazy, but, I mean, really, this is like a few, guitar effects away from being new metal. Some pinch harmonics in there, and it is what it is. But, I mean, did I say it was another one recorded in Studio 13. 5 tracks on here: Unheard, Coming Apart, Greed, Take a Breath, and Fallen Proud. This is just great. Look. That's a show I would have liked to be at. This one really is great. Comes with a small insert with the lyrics. Oh, get back in there. Really enjoy that one. That's one of my favorites from it. Failure Face. We got 2 from this band. This is a band coming out of Brandon, which is the Tampa region. Let's see, I got notes here. What is it? Okay, so All Pain No Gain from 1994, and then Self-Titled from 1993. These are some, I mean, they're just hardcore. No better way of saying it. They are fast. They are thrashy. They have, very metal-toned guitars. And the singer is just screaming his guts out. The singer is, I should mention, Bob Surin, who is somebody who has been around in the Florida punk scene for a while and has had several different bands, as well as his own label, which this one is off of, Burrito Records, which I'm sure I have something else in here from them, and I will come back to them. But these are just great. Straight up, screamy, old school hardcore. Best way I could put it. Hudson, Out of Gas. This is from 1994. They're either from Fort Lauderdale or Sunrise, Florida. It's in the same region, but I can't figure out which one from. But they're either from Fort Lauderdale or Sunrise, Florida. It's my kind of area. This is how we call it, the South Florida region. From Far Out Records, which was a local Florida band, Florida label, shall we say. This is just some really fun pop punk, shall we put it. Nasally vocals. They sound very, young. And it's just another one. It's just fun. You put it on and it makes you want to move. What we got? We have a cover on here of Dancing With Myself. But the songs are Big Deal, Down in Front, Loaded, and like I said, the cover of Dancing With Myself. I don't think there's an insert, but it is on lovely clear red vinyl. Look at that. Alrighty. Gus from Miami, or the Miami region anyways, 1995. This is yet another one recorded at Studio 13. Part of my research when looking around was, I'd find, one band, maybe I had a member that was on another band, and I would sort of expand and grow from there. Others were, where was this recorded? Okay, what else was recorded here? Was this a Florida band? Oh, sweet. So, a lot from Studio 13. It's a good studio, too. Great recording quality going on. But nonetheless, this is some great punk. Kind of poppy-ish. Kind of emo-ish. But the last track is like the heaviest. And you could just call it a hardcore track, really. Features a Drew DeMaio, or DeMaio, if I'm pronouncing his name properly, who has been in a multitude of other bands, including Van Bilderass, Asshole Parade, and Floor, as well as some others. I think I got a Van Bilderass in here somewhere. We'll talk about that later. But regardless, this one has a very cool insert. The EP is called Get Well Soon, and it comes with a Get Well Soon card. With the lyrics printed in. I mean, I don't know, how cool and creative is that? There was definitely a very nice touch. Two from this band, Slap of Reality. They're from Tampa, on the other side of the state. And we have, this one's first. From 1989, the oldest one I got. It's Stuck Inside, and Time Alone from the very following year, 1990. Slap of Reality. Let's see. This features Stuck Inside, Remembrance, Thought We Were Friends, What's in Store, More to Come. Recorded at Progressive Studios, Tampa, Florida, 4/21/89 on 16 tracks in 8 hours, 3 minutes, and 26 seconds. And this one, Time Alone, features a step, Time Alone, Moving Up, and Without a Thought. This sounds like old school 80s hardcore. Musically, you know, it's harsh, it's thrashy, it's fast, but then when you get to the singing and the vocals, it's kind of poppy-ish. So the best way to say it is like it's hardcore light. Maybe. Ooh, okay, so I have 3 EPs from this band, and it is probably one of the heaviest ones we are here to talk about. It is great. From Miami, Florida, we have Load. This is Pastor's Day from 1993. We have Slee Stack, also from 1993. And Lumberjack Death Lunge from 1996, I believe. And look, Hurricane Angel. Talking about Hurricane Angel yet again. This band is, I mean, it's almost like progressive punk because they're just all over the place. And they change time signatures within a song. And I mean, it's just great. It is really good. But all the labels, I should say, I'm not going to show all of the labels, but all of the labels kind of have that same look about it too. They're all really uniform. Just Load. And some guy taking the shit in the back. But this is intense, hardcore punk that, kind of like I said, within any given song, one song can be thrashy and fast as hell. The next song could be like slow and doomy. Or sometimes you could have a song that starts slow and doomy and ends thrashy, or vice versa. There goes the other. I mean, just really intense, heavy guitars, fast drums, and a singer that, I mean, sounds like he was just drunk, just screamy, drunken, you know, sloppy vocals with some interesting lyrics, shall we call them? There's one where it's like, you've already reached your nirvana, now go to hell. Or I think it's on Slee Stack, where I'm smoking crack with Sid Barrett. Oh, from Miami we introduce Load. This is a killer band. Killer band. Really heavy, really intense. And again, it just makes you want to move. It's just that energy. From the same area, we got Los Canadians from Miami. Another one off of Star Crunch Records, which we talked about. This is from 1996. This is really just some fun, youthful punk. Fun, youthful punk. On, we got clear red vinyl. This Stupid Hot Sun. That tells you all you need to know about Florida in the summer. Stupid Hot Sun. Comes with a very, very lovely insert with many pages, with many thanks and stories. And at the end here, a plethora of information as it lists bands that they play with and thank for their support. This has a lady singing on it, which sounds like a mix of like Gwen Stefani and like Courtney Love. Like she emotes kind of like that girly sort of Gwen Stefani thing going on, but then she's also sort of dirty and raspy like Courtney Love would be. But again, youthful, playful punk that the guitars don't sound as like distorted as much as just they're being played through a crappy amp, if that makes any sense. You know, but just really cool. Features the tracks Can Never, Cornflakes, Clarissa, which is literally about the show Clarissa Explains It All, which used to be on Nickelodeon in the 90s, and I used to love to watch. So it's, I don't know, that's funny. It piques my interest. But False Prophet, EAB, and Forget Not. Really, really, that's another one I really like. This is a compilation, cool compilation, comes off of Burrito Records, which we just recently talked about. And it's a play off of another compilation that came out in the 80s, which is really expensive. And it was called We Can't Help It If We're From Florida. So this one is called We Still Can't Help It If We're From Florida. Comes with a insert made to look like, like a newspaper. Talks a little bit about the bands on there. And it features the bands EBS, No Fraud, Slap of Reality, Backwash, Maggot Sandwich, Roach Motel, Chicken Head, and Milk and Cookies from 1992, I believe. Cool little compilation you get cheap if it is something you guys are interested in. Reina Abeja, Queen Bee, I believe it translates to Bee Complex. This is, it's not really punk, but it's from the scene and it's punk-ish. At least punk in attitude. From Gainesville up north from 1998. This, I mean, you could call it hardcore, but it's more of a Melvins inspired, you know, like heavy metal, Black Sabbath-y kind of thing. All girl group, I should mention, with, you know, just as you would imagine, really, really heavy guitars and booming drums and screamy, almost death metal, you know, vocals. I mean, it's great. It's not really punk, but it's from the same region. So I nabbed it. Another one that's not really punk, but it's from the area. It's from the region. They intertwined with bands of the time, and it definitely has a punk attitude. This one's weird. Creamy Electric Santa. Music for meditation, relaxation, and the imminent overthrow of all world governments. Yeah. This from the Miami region, 1996. Another one off of Star Crunch Records. And while this one has a punk attitude, it's not really punk. It's more of a weird noise or like a art rock. It's like lo-fi, you know, guitars with interesting kind of poppyish weird vocals, and then every now and then you get like this screechy violin coming in. It is weird. It is playful. I picked this one up cheap because it did not come with an insert. There is a 24-page little storybook, which is supposed to be, you know, like read along with it, like interactive. You read with it as the music plays. And, you know, I got this one cheap. It didn't come with that. But as soon as I got it and I was hearing it, it was kind of like, man, I wish I had that insert. So I might be shelling out a little extra cash to get the insert later on. But weirdo noise art pop rock. I gotta get more from them. They are weird, but they are good. The Crumbs. I fell in love with an alien girl, and I think I'm going to Mars with her. This is a band from the Tampa, from the Miami region. 1995. This is some good old punk pop. It's more punk than pop, but it is definitely punk pop. And it's very much so influenced by the Ramones. It sounds like the Ramones. And there's even a song where they mention the Ramones. It's something like, we sat down and we listened to Ramones records, something like that. And every song on it is like a love song. If that makes sense. We'll insert with a little comic. And the songs on here are, here we are. Hey, I fell in love with an alien girl. Oh yeah, baby, baby, you make me rock and roll. I'm sick of you and you're stuck on me like glue. Like I said, every song is a bit of a love song, but definitely a cool one to have. Slinky, Overloaded. This one is from Clearwater, which is the Tampa region, 1994. This is slightly hardcore, a little bit of a pop punk thing going on in there. Another one, more pop than punk, but or more punk than pop, but the pop influence is still there. I guess the best way to call it is just a punk record. Just a punk record. Youthful, very, harsh sounding guitars. Just, it's not a very good recording. It feels like it's a home recording. It was probably, recorded in a garage or something. So the guitars have this like maxed harsh distortion that might even be like, recorded distortion, not distortion from the guitars, but just distorted in the recording. Throaty vocals that are a bit in the background with some really cool bass playing. Sometimes they do some cool bass licks on here, which sort of get you a little going in the zone. The insert is a nice fold out, and the labels on this one is kind of cool. Look at that. The drawings on. I like that little fish shark walking thing. But fun, youthful punk. It sounds young, and you really enjoy it because it sounds young. At least I do. And the tracks we have on here are Just Fine, Overloaded, Insomniac, Predicament, and Euthanasia. Come on. You can do it. There we go. Radio Baghdad, Full of It. I don't know the exact year this came out. It's sometime around the mid-90s, 94, 95, 96. It's my guess. Another one recorded at Studio 16, or Studio 13, sorry. And it actually came off of a record label, Friendly Cow Records, which is from Germany. Figure that out. But they're from my doorstep. From Coral Springs, Florida. And this is just some punk. It's just straight up punk. It's not, hard enough to be hardcore. It's not poppy enough to be pop punk. It's just, bunch of kids jamming and playing. Features tracks Pitiful, Dan Burrito, Dan Marino, Dan Burrito, Full of It, and Kelly. Very cool to have. Dogs on Ice, Housefly from Tampa region, 1993, I believe. Yes, 1993. This is punk that has almost kind of like a grunge alternative leaning towards it, just in the way it's played and the way it's recorded. You could hear there's like overdubs and everything, and it's a bit more clean, but at the same time, it's kind of dirty-ish punk. The vocals are these throaty vocals that kind of sounds like it's somebody singing at a bar, if that makes any sense. But it is what it is. Features track Screws on a String, Violence, Rides at 3, and Fences. Scrotum Grinder. This is another one off of Burrito Records. These is a band from Tampa region, 1997. Excuse me. This is heavy, thrashy hardcore that is very chaotic. Sometimes just everywhere, taking you places. And then sometimes it just, all of a sudden it comes together. And it seems like everybody's suddenly playing at the same time. A lady singing on this, female vocals, but you kind of wouldn't notice it at first because it's this heavy guttural scream. But nonetheless, very, very, very good. Feature songs, Geld, Big Brother, Pine Box, Hot Air, Not Fire, Invisible. And Murder Suicide Pact, Lobotomy Kit, another off of Burrito Records, and another band with Bob Surin singing and leading it. I think this one's on the color. Yes, some gray color going on. And this is just fast, hard, aggressive hardcore. Best way to put it. Throaty, screamy vocals, which is what Bob Surin does, with some heavy guitars and fast-acting drums just going off on it. Feature songs, Lobotomy Kit, TGLF, whatever the hell that means, thank God, last Friday, I don't know. Dead End and Homeless Christians. Speaking of Bob Surin, let's take a second to talk about this book I've been reading, Crate Digger, An Obsession with Punk Records by Bob Surin. I got it for like $5. I was able to pick it up cheap online. If it's something you're interested in, it's pretty cool. It's just pretty much like, you know, he'll have an album and it's just, you know, page a little bit, talks about it, pictures every now and then. And sometimes it's just talking about people or bands he was in or bands that influenced him, somebody that, you know, got him into singing. Quips about, you know, shows he went to, hardcore shows, or his, he used to own a record store, talk about his record store. Experiences like that. I find it kind of interesting. Maybe you will. The Human Odyssey. Moving on, the Human Odyssey. The Human Oddities. Henry. This is from 1991. From the Miami region, this band. Another one that is not really punk, but they're from that same scene. And it's definitely punkish. It has a punk attitude, but it's more of a sort of like Devo-ish, no wave or new wave, like B-52s kind of inspired thing. But it's more gritty than that. It's grittier in the guitar, in the playing. But it has that kind of playful poppy thing going on. And the names are funny. Listen to the names of the people on this. The Human Oddities are Jimmy DeBrain, Natasha Wyoming, Mr. Torso, Betty Bulldozer, Jesus Christ on bass, everybody. And then Sonny Lee Lucas, who's a stylist. I guess every band needs a stylist. Features the track Smooth Sippin', Henry, and Fire Bad. Fire Bad is probably my favorite song on here. And it's kind of like it's intended to be like a sexy song. Like, you know, you're getting together with somebody, they're so fine, and, you know, you make me all hot, and whoa, Fire Bad. It's interesting. Picked it up cheap. I think it was like $1. I mean, you know, with shipping, it came to, you know, $3 or $4, something like that. But still, a cool one to have. Moving on, Ego Trip, Together in My Mind. This is some cool hardcore, I'm going to call it straight edge, just in its sound, you know, metal sounding guitars, vocals that they're not screaming, which comes off kind of refreshing, more of just sort of like a forced out vocal when they're singing. This is from the Miami region, 1991, and it comes with a big old insert, nice printed, talks with lyrics and all that. This one was one I recently got, so I can't say too much about it because I only listened to it once, I think. I need to spin that again when I'm done with this video. Maggot Sandwich, Murder War. This one is on clear vinyl, I believe. Yeah. Look at that deliciousness. This is, it's hardcore, but it's very, nice pronunciation. It's very Dead Kennedys influenced, just in the guitars when they're playing. And the singer especially must love Jello Biafra because he's sort of singing in that, you know, sarcastic, smart-ass manner, if you know what I mean. And the songs all appear to be somewhat, you know, politically charged in one way or another. So it's very Dead Kennedys sounding and inspired. From the Pensacola region, way up north in Florida from 1993. And the song titles say it all. Murder War, Die Pig Die, Stalinist Democracy, Critic, Fuck That Funk, Sexual Fascism, USS Foreskin, and Truth. As you can imagine, the songs are not very long. I think 2 songs on here are like maybe 10 or 15 seconds. Like, they blow by and I'm just thinking to myself, did I hear a song? I don't really know. But regardless, this sounds, even though it's from the early 90s, it sounds very much like it was recorded in the 80s. It's a lo-fi recording that, you know, again, it's not a bad thing, but it sounds like an 80s, you know, hardcore record. Like, this really could be like a Lost Dead Kennedys record or something. It's pretty cool. EBS, Cosmetic Society. This is another one that is, it's hardcore, it's thrashy, it has screamy vocals, but at the same time, it feels like a very sloppy, you know, home recording that, even though it's from, again, the early 90s, 1991, from Winter Haven, Florida, I believe, yes. Even though it's from, you know, the 90s, that it based on the recording, it gives it like an 80s hardcore feel. You know, the recording's a bit rough, but there's nothing wrong with that. It is pretty damn good. With a very nice insert. And there's one track on here, I think it's Draft the New Kids, that has a very funky, like, slap bass going on in the beginning, which catches you a little off guard, not something you expect, but it is there nonetheless. It's a great song. Features the tracks, Please Pricks, My Job Sucks, Draft the New Kids, Service Charge, Drown Your Sorrows, Arset, Red Scare, Robin Hood, and Cosmetic Society. Just a great hardcore record. Old school 90s, but it feels like it's old school 80s. Really enjoy it. And the last one we got, if you've stuck with me this far, thank you very much. Hope this has been enjoyable for you. Van Builderass from Gainesville, way up north, Gainesville, 1995. This is some, you know, it's pop punk, but it has a nice hard edge to it. It is very much a youthful energy when you listen to it. It sounds young, and it gives you a good energy. And female vocals on this, she, again, it's not screaming, it's just, it's almost like she's, when she's singing, there's something she's angry about, but she's not screaming. Clean lyrics too, I might add. So it's almost has a bit of a straight edge-ish to it because of just, you know, the lyrics. Comes with a printed sleeve. There we go. With all the lyrics and everything. And it's funny because this says it was recorded in the middle of the woods. Whether that's true or not, I don't know. It sounds like it's too good of a recording to be recorded out in the middle of the woods at night. But nonetheless, I can also believe it because in the recording, it's very bass heavy. So, but features of tracks, Choices, Two-Faced, One Shot Deal, and Seasons off Schematic Records, whoever the hell that is. So, we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed it. This was a anticipated video for me because it has been months that I've been collecting these things. So, you know, and I got some more on the way. I think I got one coming, maybe. And I got more that I need to order. But these were all the ones I could acquire fairly cheap. Hope you enjoyed it. And as always, till next time.